Star Wars has been an integral part of popular culture for 40 years now. Its stories of good against evil resonating with millions of viewers all across the globe. However, wherever you find plenty of stars, you're also likely to find a whole lot of drama hidden from public view. Do you know the dramatic behind-the-scenes secrets of this space epic? Hey movieholics, welcome back to Unlimited Movies. And today we have come back with some really spicy drama that happened behind the scenes of Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars, the untold story from behind the scenes. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and turn on post notifications to keep track of our juicy contents. Alrighty, let's get started now. With Star Wars entering the cultural consciousness in the pre-internet age, most of these secrets were kept tucked away from fans for many years, if not multiple decades. But with the advent of the internet, quotes from revealing biographies, memoirs, and interviews alike are now much more easily shared and widely spread. There are a lot of juicy secrets out there about the goings-on behind the scenes of the intergalactic epic saga. But since it can be pretty overwhelming when it comes to knowing where to start searching for them, we've gone ahead and rounded up some top-notch stories of the absolutely essential behind-the-scenes drama that you need to know about. Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher had an affair. Anyone who's ever seen the briefest scene from the original Star Wars films is quickly made aware of the undeniable spark between Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia and Harrison Ford's Han Solo. The rebel princess and roguish smuggler initially cannot stand one another, but as is the case with many will they won't they pairs, their verbal sparring soon gives way to a passionate romance. What audiences were unaware of, however, was that during production of the original 1977 film, that same passion was going on even when the cameras weren't rolling. As Fisher confirmed in her 2016 memoir, The Princess Diarist, Fisher and Ford, then 19 and 33, engaged in a 3-month affair during the filming of Star Wars. Making matters all the more complicated, Ford had been married with 2 children at the time. However, as Fisher herself notes, their affair followed a very what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas course. Rather than continuing onward, they decided to put an end to it as soon as production had wrapped. George Lucas doesn't really like The Force Awakens. When Disney acquired the rights to the Star Wars universe in 2012, fans across the world were left wondering exactly what was in store for the beloved franchise. Although the initial deal included reference to George Lucas serving as a creative consultant for Episodes VII, Lucas himself made it readily apparent in 2015 that this did not turn out to be the case. In fact, he went one step further, getting himself in quite a bit of hot water, as he referred to Disney as white slavers that take these things. The comparison came about as he disavowed Disney taking his kids and producing what he felt was a too nostalgia-heavy film, something that many embittered fans have likewise claimed since. Hayden Christensen felt he didn't earn his fame. On the whole, the George Lucas-directed prequels have been criticized since their release by many devoted fans for not matching up to the quality of the original films. In particular, much of fans' anger has been aimed at the character of Anakin Skywalker, who has often been called whiny and selfish. Criticism has naturally drifted toward the man behind Anakin's performance for 2 of the prequels, Hayden Christensen, who has mostly retreated from the spotlight in recent years. However, it is not due to the large amount of criticism that Christensen has made a new life for himself away from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. It was in fact the fame itself that drove him to seek a quieter life on a farm. George Lucas's first wife Marcia decided many of the most iconic moments. While George Lucas receives much of the credit for bringing the world of Star Wars to life in vivid and engaging ways, an in-depth look at the making of the original film reveals that the credits ought to be shared. According to the 2008 book The Secret History of Star Wars by Michael Kaminsky, a great deal of what made the film instantly iconic was in fact decided by Lucas's then-wife, film editor Marcia Lucas. Marcia Lucas received the Academy Award for Film Editing in 1977 for Star Wars, but her contributions to the film went far beyond that. Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, has noted that you can see the huge difference in the films that he does now and the films he did when he was married. Perhaps Marcia's lack of involvement in the prequels explains why so many feel they don't measure up. The man behind Darth Vader is banned from official Star Wars events. While James Earl Jones and his commanding tone immediately come to mind whenever anyone thinks about Darth Vader, British actor David Prowse also had a major role in bringing the illustrious villain to life on the big screen. Although Jones's dialogue was dubbed in after filming, Prowse himself recited each and every one of Vader's lines for the sake of filming, as well as provided the formidable appearance of the masked menace. It stands to reason, therefore, that Prowse is a man that deeply passionate Star Wars fans would love to meet. However, due to undetermined issues between Prowse and George Lucas, that dream has been all but dashed. Rogue One underwent serious last-minute reshoots. In the summer of 2016, news of a certain rumor broke on the internet that sent millions of Star Wars fans into an anxious flurry. Rogue One's initial cuts were unsatisfactory for Disney, and intensive reshoots would be needed in order to get the film up to par. Further, the rumors maintained that the film would still remain on track for its scheduled December 2016 release, which had fans further concerned about just how much of the film needed to be changed and whether it could be done in time. As we all know now, the reshoots appear to have been a great success, and the movie did indeed make it in time for its December 2016 release. The film was critically praised, boasting an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it one of the franchise's best reviewed films. The Han Solo movies directors were fired with only weeks left of production. Rogue One isn't the only Star Wars anthology film to be plagued by production issues, however. It was revealed that the directors of the upcoming young Han Solo film, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, had been fired from the project with only weeks remaining on the production slate. Fans were left in utter shock with this revelation, especially given how far into shooting the film was at this point. With Ron Howard stepping in and taking the helm for the remainder of production, fans can only hope that the rest of the film's final weeks will be far smoother sailing. Oscar Isaac campaigned for Poe to survive because he was too tired of dying early in movies. Poe Dameron is one of the first new characters introduced in The Force Awakens. His brand of bravado and bravery is precisely in line with some of Star Wars' past pilot characters, which quickly established him as a fan favorite, even though he really has comparably little screen time within the film. Yet that screen time apparently could have been even shorter had J.J. Abrams' original script held. As it turns out, Poe was meant to die in the TIE fighter crash that separates him from Finn for the film's first act. However, Oscar Isaac fought in order to prevent that from happening, as he had begun to develop the unenviable reputation of being that actor who dies early in movies. Sir Alec Guinness didn't really like Star Wars. There's no denying that a large part of what made Obi-Wan Kenobi such an integral character to Star Wars' early success was the gravitas brought on by the role by renowned actor Sir Alec Guinness. However, what may come as a surprise to devoted fans of the galaxy far, far away is this: Guinness reportedly couldn't stand the films. In a 1975 letter, he described the script as fairy tale rubbish. He makes it clear that he was grateful for the money the role provided him, and that he liked his castmates, but that he did not consider the role to be real acting, especially with a script that was constantly changing. C-3PO and R2-D2 weren't exactly best friends in real life. As the only two characters who have appeared in every single Star Wars film to date, C-3PO and R2-D2 have been making audiences laugh with their love-hate friendship from the very beginning. The prim and proper protocol droid and the mischievous astromech droid are the perfect example of comedy's tried and true pattern of the lanky straight man and stocky funny man. However, when it comes to the relationship between the men behind these iconic characters, it apparently falls further on the hate side of the love-hate spectrum. According to frequent interview snippets from Kenny Baker and Anthony Daniels over the years, the two were just never able to get along. Well, it's perfectly fine for two personalities to clash. This revelation is particularly upsetting, given how beloved the bond between their on-screen counterparts has become. Okay guys, that is it. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, And until we come around with more spicy and juicy contents, bye-bye.